Good morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care and hair care topics. If you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So today we are going to talk about some fashion news. We're going to talk about some new items. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first three that popped up on my feed when it comes to fashion news are a couple of debuts. The very first one is going to be from J.W. Anderson. You guys remember we talked about the clutch. We talked about the frog clutch, and then we talked about the ever famous pigeon clutch when it came to Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City. If you do not like pigeons, you can try a canary. J.W. Anderson has issued a canary version of that clutch. The next one is going to be from Prada. They have debuted a $300 paperclip. Is it really a paperclip? Yes, it is. It is in the shape of a paperclip, but Prada has stated that it's just kind of like a modern, edgy take on a money holder or a paperclip. Interestingly enough, back in 2017, they actually debuted this, I guess you could say, for the first time. They're just re-releasing it here in 2024. But at that time, it cost $158. So would you have bought it back then for $158? And would you have bought it today at $300? Let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure I know y'all's answer. The next one is going to be from Louis Vuitton. If you did not know, Pharrell has been named the creative director for the men's side. I believe at this point he has done his third runway collection. I want to introduce to you the $3,000 leather lunchbox or leather lunch bag. I think that this is going to sell out. I do, because it's fun, it's kitsch, and it's trendy. And his anticipated drops, and we will talk about his collaboration in another portion of this video. But I think that in anticipation of this drop, I think this bag is going to sell out. Is it my taste? No. Do I think it is going to do very well? I do. Okay, let's talk about Gucci. I don't know if you guys remember, this was some years ago, but Gucci had a section on their website called Gucci Vault. And basically what it held was just kind of like collaborations that they did with other companies or other brands or other fashion houses. And then also collaborations that they did with emerging brands or emerging designers. Gucci is going to, I guess you could say, capitalize off of this vintage craze. We have seen a huge jump in the popularity of vintage finds, especially when it comes to bags, shoes, and fashion, right? So Gucci is going to introduce Gucci Vintage. Okay, so basically what Gucci is saying is that the archive team will select pieces and they will be reconditioned and customized by Gucci design team and product development team. For me, I think this is a very interesting take on vintage. I do think, though, that it's going to be interesting to see what pieces they do decide to kind of resurface or bring back. Also, what's going to be very interesting is the pricing. Typically, when you think of something custom, as soon as you hear the word custom, you already know that it's going to cost an arm and a leg, or it is going to cost more than something that is mass produced, right? Because typically when you have custom, it's exactly that. Everything is customized. Your waist, your bust, your hip, the color, the cut, the beadwork. It'll be interesting to see the prices because they're going to be bringing these bringing these pieces back. I'm not saying they're going to be mass produced, but it's not just going to be like one of a kind. So it'll be interesting to see if the price point for Gucci Vintage will fall where, I guess you could say, mass produced or custom. It'd be interesting to see if it falls kind of like right in the middle. So we have to talk about Chanel. We talked about the investment bags, and I will link that video down below, the best investment bags for 2024. And there were a few bags from Chanel on there. However, you guys already know what I'm getting ready to talk about, especially if you are a fashion lover and if you love Chanel. 2024 price increases. So I did do some digging, and they're already talking about a price increase for the Chanel boy bag and of course for the classic flap. So I will link this article down below. It is from Brag My Bag. So let's start with the price in the United States. For the United States, it says Chanel prices in 2024 in the US. So let's start with the Chanel New Mini Classic bag. The old price was $4,900. It is going to go up to $5,460. The Chanel Mini Square was $4,700. Now it is going up to $5,260. So then we also have the small classic flap. The old price was $9,600. The new price is $11,240. And then let's do the Chanel medium/large classic flap. As we know, when it comes to the resale market, that is the most popular and that's what you're going to pay the most for. So the old price was $10,200. The new price is now going to be $11,850. So basically, Chanel is right now, when it comes to a Chanel classic flap, medium/large size, we are in the realm of the Birkin, okay? And I think for a lot of people, I wouldn't necessarily say that Chanel is trying to be Hermes when it comes to their aesthetic. Are they trying to be Hermes when it comes to the exclusivity? I would say yes. If you are not aware, I believe was implemented in 2023. There was a classic flap quota, basically meaning that you were only going to be able to purchase so many of that bag. The question that I want to pose to you guys, because I actually watched a video from Sophie Chohet, I will link it down below. And in that video, she talks about whether or not the bottom of Chanel is getting ready to fall out. Are people going to start looking elsewhere? Again, if you are a Chanel lover, if you are a fashion girl, you know people's two pain points when it comes to Chanel is the lack of quality and the customer service. And I can attest to both. There is a Chanel boutique, I believe it is inside of Neiman Marcus at South Park Mall. Just walking in there, even the display bags. I mean, I went in there one time and the display bag was crooked, and that's the way that it was made. Talking about customer service, my last experience from Chanel, and this was pre-COVID, so this was 2017. I was on an assignment. A girlfriend and I went to Magnificent Mile, and I know it doesn't matter, but I was carrying a Chanel bag when I walked into the Chanel store. There was no acknowledgement. There was no hi, no hello. How can we help you? Nothing. Then we went to Dior. She had champagne, and we even went into the VIP room. So those are people's pain points. Now, are you going to have people who are still going to shop Chanel? Absolutely. And in that video, what she was also talking about, or what she revealed, is that she has a close friend that works at one of, like, I guess you could say the biggest companies when it comes to marketing and all of that. And they were actually looking at their analytics, and what they found, number one, what I found very interesting is that China has actually been knocked off of their pedestal when it comes to buying luxury, and the Middle East, which does make sense, is now reigning supreme. But what they said was that sales for luxury when it comes to United States and when it comes to the UK basically went down. I think she said anywhere from like 25 to 30%. Just something for you to think about. Next, we have Loewe. Loewe has debuted their home collection, and I will admit that I am a little intrigued. So they have candles, they have candle kits, they have lotion, they have body wash, they have soap. And I am not going to lie, I am going to try their soap. There is just something about luxurious soap that I absolutely love. They have fragrance, they have fragrance, they have incense, they have spray. I will link that down below, but I'm very intrigued. And because it is from Loewe, people always talk about the love of their quality. I am hoping that $60 bar of soap that I buy is going to be worth it. Definitely still a luxury, but I think it's like a minor, I think it's like a minor luxury purpose. Just something to indulge in, because I love baths and I love showers. However, I will say that I am a little I'm not going to say surprised. I am a little irritated that they are selling like the actual candle tops or the candle lids for $50. At $300 for a candle, you can give me a lid for free. Now we need to talk about two collaborations. The first one is going to be Moncler and Roc Nation. If you do not know who is behind Roc Nation, it is Jay-Z, Beyonce's husband. And they actually said that he has been a very integral part when it comes to the design of this collaboration. And it did debut January 24th. So check it out if you are interested. The next one, which I'm sure you've heard about, is going to be Louis Vuitton times Timberland. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if David is aware of this, but when I tell him, he will probably want a pair of the boots. But this collaboration is set to debut for fall and winter of 2024, and people are already talking about this. People are already going crazy about this. Let's go ahead and bring up some of the photos. So the first photo that we have here is basically, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Basically, it's showing you, what the collaboration is going to look like and what is going to be debuted. Now, we know with all of these collaborations, especially when you're talking about your fashion houses, that they are going to do this in levels, right? I do want to show you one pair that is going to be for VICs, very important clients or very important customers. And basically, they are $60,000 18 karat gold boots. And every piece of, or every, I guess you could say, piece of hardware on here is going to be 18 karat gold. And then also just these, I think the marketing and I think the way that these boots were done is very genius, not too in your face. Yes, they do have some where they do have the LVs all over it, but they do have some ones that are a little bit more minimal. And I think that they are running a very fine line between logo mania and just a classic boot. Now, one of the things that I do think was genius is the sole of this. They had the LV right in the middle. And then when you stomp down, somebody will be able to see that you actually bought the Louis Vuitton and the Timberland boot. And then just some of the other details, you do have a tag, and then on the tongue of the shoe, and you flip it over, it does have the LV. So just very subtle things. I think that this is only going to, I guess you could say, better or make Louis Vuitton even more popular. So I was reading, and the common folk, the people who will have to get on a waiting list or who have an SA at Louis Vuitton, I think that says anywhere from $1,500 to about $3,000. So I think this collaboration is going to do very well because I think it has something for everybody. I think it has something for the person who is logo mania down, someone who loves logos, someone who wants you to know what they are wearing, and then someone who is a little bit more, covert, someone who wants to be a little bit more inconspicuous. And then right in the middle is you will have a couple of pieces where it's gonna kind of run that line between logomania and being a little bit more traditional. Because looking at this photo, more of them are actually incognito than the other ones. The only one that's really ridiculous is the one that's the $60,000, and that's not attainable for most people. So you will not see most people with it. But I think with all of the options for this collaboration, I think it's going to do very well. And lastly, Tory Burch. Tory Burch has debuted a concept store with another designer. So according to The Laboratory, it says Tory Burch has teamed up with American fashion designer and creative director Humberto Leon to create The Laboratory, a new concept store in Los Angeles on Melrose Avenue. It says the facade and interior of the pop-up shop are covered with the work of German photographer Walter Schell's, depicting black and white portraits of cats mid-meow. Now, I like the idea of concept stores. I was doing a little bit more research, and this is going to be all the way throughout 2024. I'm bringing this to your attention because for Tory Burch's runway for fall and winter 2023, it actually got a lot of press and a lot of people began to see, I guess you could say, Tory Burch, not necessarily as luxury, but definitely a brand to watch. I have always loved Tory Burch. You guys know that I have a couple of pair of shoes, and I do have my gorgeous Eleanor Croc embossed bag, okay? Now, as far as the photos are concerned, I love the shoes. Tory Burch is very much a company when it comes to their shoes and when it comes to their jewelry that a lot of people kind of look over. I don't know if you guys have seen, I'll put a picture up here, but those gorgeous beaded shoes that I have that are white and red and orange, those are Tory Burch. And then you guys have heard me say before 100 times at this point, my Eleanor bag, the craftsmanship is impeccable. The concept store or the decor of this concept store is a little strange to me, I'm not an animal lover. I'm not going to say it's creepy, but it's just, it's art. It's artistic. I don't get it, but I understand. Collaborations are very popular, and I think they're only going to get even more popular just to kind of bring brands together and to get it out to the masses and to put certain brands in front of different audiences and different people. So that is all of the fashion news that I have for you right now. Let me know in the comments if you had to choose one. Let me know and money was not an issue. Let me know in the comments if you would do the paperclip, the canary clutch, or the lunch bag. Just let me know. Money is not an issue. Just let me know. I would probably have to say for myself, it may be the lunch bag, because I feel like I could just kind of fold it, turn it around where it says Louis Vuitton, turn it around and just kind of like hold it as a clutch. I would probably have to say the lunch bag. But just let me know in the comments which one. If you had to pick one, let me know. I just want to remind you, here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and right here I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Bye.
We always have it coming.